I came across this Bible verse and it sparked something in me that I think everyone that is really interested in discussing and doing something about equality between men and women and equity as well, you'll be interested to hear this. Now, the place I was reading in the Bible was Genesis chapter 2, and where it was saying that, therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So I started asking myself, why is there the word therefore? So when you hear therefore, it just talks about something that happens consequentially. So something happened that led to something happening. So something happened that led to God saying, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother. And what was it that happened before that statement was made? So the very verse before, that was when Adam saw Eve. And the first time he laid his eyes on her, he recognized that she's of the same species as him. So he was like, wow, this is the bone of my bone. This is the flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of the human species. She's part of the human species. So her bone is the exact type of bone I have. Her flesh is the exact type of flesh I have. She is of the same species. So that's why I'm calling her woman, because I know that she's a man, but there's something different about her, which could be her womb, which could be other qualities that God put in her, right? And so him making that statement in front of Eve was him accepting this person that God had brought his way, right? So, and then because he said, I accept her to be my partner in this work of naming the animals, of tending and keeping this garden, God said, okay, I stamp your marriage. Therefore, you will have to leave your father and your mother and cleave to your wife and become one flesh. There's no father or mother to Adam, but God is just saying, if you want to enter into a marriage relationship with a woman, you have to acknowledge that she is the same bone and flesh as you are. She's the same human species. She's not a subspecies. She is the same human as you are. So you have to treat her with dignity. And I want to bring out another side of this whole living father and mother and cleaving to the wife. When a man finds his wife, and Bible describes her, a wife, as a good thing that brings favor to the life of a man, then that man has the role of living father and mother, living whatever it is that his culture has told him, this is how you should treat your wife, whatever. Cleave to her, know her as a person, not based on what your culture said you should do to her. Know her as a person. That is how she will be your favor. That is how both of you will not work against each other, because she carries purpose as well. And if you treat her in a way that is not pleasant, she does not have to stay. Two of you will just be clashing. You think you are holding her down, but you're also ending up holding yourself down. But you see that immediately the fall of man happened. What happened? Adam now started blaming the same blessing, the same favor that God brought his way, and said it is because of her that this and that happened. And that is why you see a lot of men today, they call themselves Christians, but they are quick to listen to any seer outside, any supposed prophet that say, oh, it's your wife. You see, since you married, the past 8 months you married, your business started falling, it must be your wife. They will now accept that hook, line, and sinker. They don't look at the effect of the economy. They don't look at a whole lot of things. And then again, even when it comes to the impact of the fall on men and women and marriage, you will see a man that will not carry his family them and go and marry a wife. They say, okay, I'm paying bride price for her, only to bring her back to his father and mother's house. So you see that the father, the mother, the brothers, the sisters, and all manner of family members of the man begin to speak into that marriage, and it becomes a problem. And that is not okay. You see that in essence, the fallen man wants to eat his cake and have it. I know I'm not the prize, but I am going to pretend like I am the prize. I will bring the prize into my house and I will turn her into less than a human. She will come to my house and take insult and undergo all manner of humiliation rituals. And at the end of it all, her enduring all those things and not speaking is going to be our definition of good wife and strong woman. So what I believe God wants us to take away from this is this. If your man is not actively trying to cleave to you, because Bible says, therefore a man shall leave father and mother. He didn't even talk about the woman. Say a man shall leave father and mother and cleave to his wife. So he was very specific about the gender that needs to leave. That was even before the fall. So if the man in your life is not actively trying to cleave to you, and I'm not talking about whatever you do in the other room, that's not what I'm talking about. That's the basest form of cleaving, right? So, but if he's instead wanting to merge you with his family. Oh, this is how we do it. My mom said, my sister said, go and collect the money from my sister. My sister will buy it. All those kind of things. Or if he wants you to be worshiping him, oh, my king, my lord, I will do this for me. Okay, this and that. But when it comes to your own, you tell you, no, I'm not romantic. I don't have time for that. That's a problem. So for another thing is, if he doesn't value your perspective, or he doesn't even want to understand you as a person, and he's like, I'm the man, and my what I say is the law. I don't care what you think. This is how it works in this family. You are supposed to obey me. Bible says I am your head. So if he's actively working hard to undermine your efforts, to minimize your needs, and to dull your shine, it's time for you to rethink that relationship, because that is not God's order. And you will find out that if when anybody that is in that kind of relationship, your spirit will be troubled. You will not be at peace, because that's not how it was supposed to be. The reason why women are unhappy in relationships is because the way they are being treated goes contrary to what God and their conscience and their spirit accepts as normal. If you see a woman that is in a good relationship, in a mutually respectful relationship, that they support each other and help each other to grow, you will see her happy. She will, because in her spirit, her conscience is saying, this is it, this is it. Her intuition is saying, yeah, this is it. But if you are in a relationship and every day you're like, what's going on? Maybe, okay, if it is what God says, if it is my cross, if it is this, then it is not natural. It's not what God wants for you. So it's time for you to rethink. Begin to think of, how are you going to speak up for yourself? What boundaries do you need to put in place to regain yourself? Because if you're in that kind of relationship, you likely have lost yourself. You don't even know who you are aside from that man. And that's not how God wants it for you. So let me know what you think in the comments section. Thanks for watching.